If you look on the tables, there are several pins, all for your taking, and I would like to recognize Susie Corbett in the back for her generosity and hard work in putting them together. Chris Corbett, Susie's husband, is right over there in the red tie, and Chris is also my client. I have now been admitted to practice law in the state of Arkansas, so watch out. Since I was admitted just this year, the way the bar numbers work is the year 2020 dash whatever is the next number of the series, and so the next number in the series when I signed up happened to be 007, so I think that's right. We are litigating a case in which which Bob actually is familiar with, a change in the law recently that says officers of the court, and we understand, we lawyers and others understand that term to mean lawyers, officers of the court can carry guns in the courthouse, and the courthouses, as of yet, have not caught on, and so we're litigating that case, and one of the buttons, in fact, you'll see, says, Chris Corbett, officer of the court, represented by 007, so that's what that means. But all the others should be self-explanatory as they relate to 2A, the Second Amendment. It is really our pleasure to have all of the panelists here. I would like to tell you, we made significant efforts, in fact, to get some strong opponents to stand your ground, and I spoke myself, I think, to 3 state senators, and Hannah spoke to a 4th, and then they actually reached out for us, and we just couldn't make the timing happen, but I think they genuinely wanted to attend, and we'll try to set something up in the future. This whole program started out as a smaller idea in which Bob and Aaron were just going to come and talk about their bill, and then we kept expanding, and we realized, let's try to get some opponents of the bill, and while we weren't successful this time, I will try to serve the role in being the moderator as also the devil's advocate. So we'll see how successful I will be at that, being that I've already disclosed to you my general position on Second Amendment rights. And before I start asking the members for comments, the participants for comments, I would like to recognize one additional person. Ed Monk is in the back. Ed Monk is a firearms instructor who has generously agreed to come to the school in the future and give a talk on active shooter. And so that will be one of our upcoming events in which Ed will be participating. So in the future, I look forward for that notice. So why don't we dive into it, and we're going to start just talking about what is the stand your ground law in other states, what was tried in this state, and so I think we'll start at the end of the row because Bob happens to be sitting there, and then we'll just work our way in, and obviously Bob will explain what it is, and then I would like to hear the views of all the panelists on it. And then as we go through, we'll probably have other questions that come up, and we can expand our discussion to other gun-related laws that are a topic of general discussion these days, like red flag laws. So without further ado, and after having heard too much of my voice already, Bob, why don't you lead us off and tell us about the Stand Your Ground bill